It's okay, I'll be fine. Give me some more.
It's good we have a limited supply.
Okay.
Let's go.
Ready to do it?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to Oh Yeah Big Time. This episode is not brought to you by Monster Energy Drink. Do you want to drink a giant soda pop while also drinking a soup of chemicals specifically formulated to offset the insulin crash caused by all of the sugar from the Monster Energy Drink? Well, I've got great news from you.
From you and for you.
You can also unleash your inner beast by destroying your own body from the inside out with Monster Energy Drink. We've also somehow managed to generate a cult following of real men who have for some reason decided to slap giant Monster Energy Drink decals on the back of their truck window. So head on over to eBay where you can find a large, unlicensed Monster Energy Drink decal for your truck. Monster Energy Drink. Trick your own body into thinking you can make it through the day. All right.
What is the,
So, yeah.
Is there a difference between Monster and what are the other ones?
There's Red Bull, there's Rockstar, there's Balls.
But is it like Creed? Are they just getting a bad name, but they're all the same?
They're kind of all the same. They've got taurine and
why are we
caffeine
so mean
and
to them?
to Monster?
Yeah.
Well, it's not so much it's the people who drink Monster Energy Drink.
That's true. They are very specific.
It's a very specific person. And again, I don't get where people are getting these giant decals for the back of their truck.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. First of all, it's not like Monster sells that, I don't think.
And then they're small, like most decals are this big.
Yeah, if you went to like a Monster
like
sponsored event, you'd get maybe a little sticker. They're not handing out sheets
a window.
of. Yeah, it's like
like they can't see out the back of their window.
Those decals are bigger than the window. Like when you put one of those decals on the back of a truck, the window gets bigger.
Maybe that's why they have it. They want a bigger
That's true.
window.
Yeah, it's a miracle worker.
Because like fish grow to the size of their tank or something.
Windows grow to the size of their Monster Energy Drink decals.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
So, but it's the guys with those, the big giant trucks with the tiny little itty bitty beds.
You don't like those.
I get infuriated.
You get a little, and you can be in a good mood, and then you see a little itty bitty truck bed
with a tiny bed,
and you're like, couldn't even fit a body in there.
You could when you see you can't even fit like an IKEA washing machine in the bed of those. They're very tiny beds
like for the
nowadays.
Japanese people.
I don't get it. I kind of get it, and I'll tell you why, because I've done a little bit of research this week.
Yeah?
Because when I see these big trucks with tiny beds, I freak out.
You get a little not violent towards me.
I've never hit my wife because of a big truck with a tiny bed.
But he would hit the truck. Somebody. Yeah.
But, I thought the whole point of a truck was carrying some 2x4s.
It's a utility vehicle.
Some sheetrock.
Transport the things in which you cannot fit in your car.
Yes.
It's for the purpose of the truck.
That is what it's for. But when I see one of these Rams, one of these Dodge, I guess it's not a Dodge. Dodge just split it off into its own brand.
It's not a Dodge Ram?
No, it's just Ram now.
Ram?
Ram is its own brand.
It's just Ram.
Yeah, I got a Ram.
Are there other Dodge cars, or did they just...
Yeah, Dodge still makes cars. They just don't make trucks. But they do make trucks. They just make them under a brand called Ram.
Okay.
No longer a model. Brand.
Is it? Okay.
It's kind of like how Ford broke the Mustang off into its own brand. So now you can get a Mustang that is a hatchback.
At least really?
Yeah.
So it's a little, I didn't know that. Because I was going to say at least Mustangs are kind of cool, but Mustang hatchback.
Not cool.
I have to burp. Keep talking.
Hang on. I have to check on something.
I swallowed my burp.
You okay?
Yeah, Ram.
But they're all like that now. If Chevrolet, Ford, all of them are these big trucks, tiny bed.
Ever since you mentioned it, I noticed it too. I didn't care before, but now I care. So then I'm like in the parking lot and I'm like, these motherfuckers and their shitty ass trucks that
Yeah.
cost like, I don't know, $40,000. I don't know how much
These trucks cost like $50,000.
Yeah, and you can't put anything in it. Not even a
So
tall man.
why are you getting it? Get a
Yeah.
van. You can fit more in a van than you
Yeah.
can these trucks. 100%.
And it's protected from the elements.
But I went down a rabbit hole because I was just like, what is going on? It can't just be market driven.
You don't
Like,
think so?
no, I mean, I can't imagine that customers were writing Chevrolet and Ford and saying, please,
Please.
please make the cab of the truck the size of a minivan, but the bed of the truck the size of the back of a hatchback.
Yeah.
Please.
Please, or we'll boycott your company.
So I went and did some research.
Okay.
I learned some things. I thought something must be up. You know, you have the whole like, oh, he's compensating by having a big truck
Oh, yeah.
because he's got a tiny little, you know what they call it. But those are basically the only trucks available now. The giant, massive trucks
For like new trucks?
for new trucks.
Like you can't get a normal new truck?
You'll see on the road like a Toyota truck from like 1994,
Yeah.
and it's a small truck, but the bed has plenty of room.
It's like petite, but has long
Right.
length.
It has length.
It's long.
It's petite with length. So I did some research because those aren't available. You can't find, nobody makes that size truck anymore. You can't find a truck
That's petite
like
and long.
you can't find a petite with length truck anymore. So I did some research. I've been looking into this, and it turns out this all kind of goes back to the 70s. So in the 70s, in like 1975, OPEC put an oil embargo against the U.S. and any country that supported Israel in the Yom Kippur War. Yom Kippur War.
Yeah.
And this led to shortages. So gas prices were skyrocketing. There were lines at the gas stations. It was crazy. But then in 1975, Congress put into place some sort of energy policy. I think the Energy Policy and Conservation Act, which came with a set of regulations called the CAFE regulations or the CAFE standards.
Okay.
So the whole point of the CAFE standards was to help regulate supply and demand of fuel, making vehicles get better fuel mileage. And that was supposed to be a good thing.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it is a good thing on paper. So there were different standard requirements for cars and for trucks, but and this was all going great. This is the reason why in like the late 70s and 80s, car mileage went from being like 12 miles a gallon to like 30 miles a gallon.
Okay, so it wasn't that positive.
It was a good thing.
Until...
But in 2006, they started making the regulations different based on like the footprint of a vehicle, how large a vehicle is.
Like footprint, like
so they
like
took
wheel to wheel.
Well, wheel to wheel and also volume of the vehicle. So they made the regulations for lighter vehicles more strict, but giving larger and heavier vehicles less strict fuel economy regulations.
That's backwards.
Yes, it is. It's very backwards. So
It's
as a
very
truck
backwards.
gets bigger, the minimum miles per gallon it can get starts to drop.
There's like an inverse relationship of like...
Yes. So if Ford made a truck that was a little bigger than like a hatchback back with a
hatchback
bed,
stack. Yeah.
and it had the same engine in it as a bigger giant truck,
Mm-hmm.
the smaller truck would have to get better miles per gallon than the larger truck.
Really?
Just because of its size.
Because of the cafe people.
Because of the CAFE standards. So automakers can technically break these rules, but then they're paying a penalty. So they have no incentive.
They have to pay a penalty?
They have to pay, depending on how far outside of the line they fall,
yeah.
they have to pay a penalty per vehicle of that size sold. So
So they're not going to do it if there's a penalty.
Not a chance.
These corporations only care about cutting corners and making
the dough.
Making
So
that dough.
they had to make these giant trucks. And that's why every year they're going to keep getting bigger.
They do.
Because they have standards outlined for every year. So there's for 2023, 2024, 2025, 2022. And every year that goes by, the standards are getting a little different.
So it's not stagnant, it's getting worse?
Yes.
Why? This is crazy.
At some point, we're going to have mountains driving down the road with no bed.
And I feel like the shape is a little different too. Like yours is like more flat, kind of, and like.
Well, so the hood of my vehicle is at a slant.
Sure. Yeah.
My truck has a slant. It's from the 90s. It has a slanted hood.
It's a sexy beast.
But the new trucks, they are just walls.
I said sexy beast, and then you didn't reciprocate. So now I feel like I was weird for calling it a sexy beast. So we don't talk about that.
I call it sexy all the time. Okay. Every time I go outside, I say, God damn.
And you stroke it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my pants are filled with me.
Excuse me.
So, that's why it's because of these cafe standards.
The shape of the hood, even.
Well, they're trying to make it take up as much space as possible.
It needs to be,
because then they don't have to meet these miles per gallon standards.
It just doesn't seem like a natural shape for a vehicle, anyway.
No, if I were to hit someone in my truck,
yeah.
They would roll onto the hood. They would roll over the windshield into the back trunk of the bed and lay like this.
Or they do like a gymnastics, like they get like.
Yeah, and then judges would hold up signs
and they
with
get
scores.
Their scores, and everyone would be happy.
Yeah, and
if
then
they got hit
a
by
whole
a car.
crowd would. Yeah,
by a '90s truck, everyone would be happy because they landed on their feet
and got a 10,
like a cat.
But these new trucks, if they hit you, you are just getting plowed over.
Yeah,
because it is a wall of truck.
Right. Certain death.
Certain death.
Cafe people don't care.
So I won't rant about that, but it bugs me every time.
You can't judge those people anymore.
Well, I do.
Is this
because
an America thing though, or like?
That's a great question. So Chevrolet, Ford, these truck companies are making smaller trucks that are available in other countries. They can't sell them here.
So their factories are making these trucks.
They make them
because they have demand in other countries.
Yes, and because other countries don't have those regulations.
So you could get you would have to import a truck, which is insane.
Insane.
It's not like I don't know my cars, but an imported Lamborghini from Tokyo.
From Tokyo, yeah.
Yeah, this is like
I imported this Lamborghini from Tokyo.
This is like I imported a Chevy truck overseas.
From Argentina.
So I could have it fit drywall.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
But yeah, so that's...
I still feel like they should take the penalty if they really care about making a real good truck. Because these aren't even trucks anymore.
They won't take the penalty.
I hate them.
I mean, you could get a long bed now, but these trucks are $60,000, $70,000.
I mean, they've priced out the people that actually use them for utility.
That's why you see real construction men riding around in old 90s trucks.
And they have like 400,000 miles and they're tearing out.
They're still cruising around.
Those new ones are breaking down.
You will not see a 2023 truck on the road in 40 years.
Even like 15 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you just won't see it.
Been manufactured to break into pieces.
Yep. So, but anyway, that's my rant on trucks. And now you know the battle. So, if you're watching or if you're listening to the podcast through your iPod, keep in mind you can always go to ohyeahbigtime.tv, find our YouTube link. We record all of our episodes on video so you can watch them through the internet.
We recommend it because we tend to talk about visual things, and I don't know what that's like to listen to when you can't see it.
You just listen and imagine. I guess
maybe it's good for their brain because they have to use that part that pictures things.
The pictures things brain part.
Yeah, so maybe it's good for cognitive processing.
And it's going to come in handy right now because there's a new segment on the podcast that I'd like to introduce right now. And that's a segment I like to call...
Ooh.
What's in is Ron DeSantis chewing on? Tell me what he's chewing on. I need to know what Ron is chewing on. He's got something in his mouth and I want to know what it is.
Did you make that?
The song? No, I searched royalty-free game show song.
You licensed
that came
and
up.
the lyrics. That was a performance. I
Thank
felt
you.
like I was at a 4th of July concert.
Well, since last night at about 11 p.m., when I ran across a video of Ron DeSantis being interviewed by Sean Hannity, our favorite gold salesman.
Yes, he is. He's very wealthy from the gold and only the gold.
Only the gold.
Yeah, not that Fox News money, no.
But I'm watching this interview, and I started to notice something that Ron is doing when he's not speaking. He kind of moves weird.
I've noticed his body language is a little...
He moves a little weird when he's not speaking. But then I noticed that his jaw just starts moving around.
Moving.
It's like
Is he chewing? Or I guess that's the segment. Was he chewing?
What's he chewing on? It looks like, to me, he emptied an entire bag of corn nuts into his mouth and is just like
trying to silently sog through them because they're very loud to chew through.
Yeah, that's what
right? So he's like trying to wear it down in his gums.
That's what it looks like. Yes. So I'm watching this clip and I'm thinking, well, this is weird behavior. As a matter of fact, can we pull that up? I sent you. I edited this whole video together.
Is this why you were up so late last night?
Yeah, I was just up all night watching Ron
Did
DeSantis.
you make this?
I made this. Well, I mean, it's only a few minutes long, but it illustrates clearly what I'm talking about. So if we go ahead and play this.
Controversial issue of abortion, and you signed a
So
6-week
look
bill,
at him.
the
He's
heartbeat
fidgety,
bill.
but look at that jaw.
Now,
Yeah.
look, I don't think anybody really anticipated.
So I'm
Roe v.
watching
Wade
this, and
repeal,
I'm
which was
thinking,
the state.
okay, he's either something's wrong. He's having a bad day
It's just manifesting through
through his movements,
abnormal movements,
or this is something he does,
like a tick.
like a
sorts.
tick, or just that's Ronnie DeSantis.
Ronnie DeSantis. I don't know if I've seen a tick that's.
Yeah, that's him all the time, apparently.
Is it?
Well, let's go ahead and watch this clip.
Okay. You just tell me when to pause again.
All right.
Do you support this more as a state issue, or do you think it should be federal? Key. There is an
Like, this is all throughout the interview.
Position. Oh, the government, it should not get in the room with a patient.
Ew.
That one was gross.
A woman.
I like the slow-mo.
Like, what is he chewing on? Ronnie D, what is going on? So then we'll go ahead and pause. Then I'm like, okay, again, either he's having a bad day or this is.
Was that what happens when you have a bad day? You start just chewing in your mouth?
I don't know. I'm not Ron. I'm not Ronnie DeSantis. He should dress up as Ronnie DeSantis Claus.
I didn't expect you to push that button.
I didn't mean to.
So he's having a bad day, so he's chewing his mouth or something. I don't know.
But then I'm like, okay, well, if this is something that he does, then the only way to find this out is to go watch other clips of Ron
See if he's doing it again.
DeSantis. But the hard part is that Ron interviews are cutting between the person actively talking, and he's only chewing his teeth out
In his off time.
when he's in downtime.
That is hard.
So I found this clip from when the hurricane was going to hit Florida. He was talking about Florida is strong, Florida is capable,
It's real.
and Florida is real. and he has this military man with him.
He
So
looks so sad and despondent.
he looks like he's been arrested by the military man.
Like, look at that.
Oh, I'm going to zoom in pretty close
You zoom in for
the
us?
video, but
Okay. So I don't even need to do this. Like, is that authentic? Like, oh, I don't buy that.
it looks like
sad about that.
it looks like he knows for sure his entire family is going to die in the hurricane. That's
like
what that
It
looks
isn't
like.
kind of like Florida is going to die in the hurricane. It's like his family's going to die.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Well, okay. You want me to hit play?
Well, yeah, let's go ahead and hit play. This is Ron DeSantis.
So is that like a Florida? Have you seen that before?
What do you mean?
Like, is that a? I don't know the word.
The Florida State Seal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, every seal is insane.
I can't expand upon why I think that's insane, but just know that that's insane.
Every state seal
But
is
it looks
bad.
so bad. Looks like it's like colored pencil with a child. Like what? I'm sorry. I won't insult your home state. We'll just keep watching.
Hey, that's my state seal.
But what is? We'll talk about. We don't have to get into that.
No, it's a fucking palm tree and a
hate it.
sunset.
What is on the left?
What's the Utah State Seal?
Well, I don't want to get sidetracked.
What is it?
It's not.
Just tell me what it is.
I don't know.
Well, then how can
Well,
you?
I think it's blue, but I feel like it's better.
It's not just blue.
I feel like it's better because this is like such a shitty illustration of like colored pencil.
Utah. Blue-taw.
Utah State Seal. I'm sorry to get you signed. At least it looks like it's been in like Illustrator or something. I don't know.
That's just America. And also, Utah's state slogan is industry.
All right, you got me there. But do you see what I mean? It's like a solid picture,
I get it.
and this is like, I don't know.
I mean, I grew up with that, so it is so normal
I
to
just
me.
think it's crazy. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so
I'm sorry to get side.
Ron
Continue.
DeSantis is standing behind a military general who is standing behind a pencil-drawn sketch of a woman about to drown in the ocean. And what I noticed here is that it wasn't happening. The chewing. So it was like bad day in the Sean Hannity interview
Bad. Okay.
because he wasn't chewing.
So
but
he
then
chews when he's anxious.
I don't know at this
Potentially.
point.
Okay.
But as this went on, DeSantis got chewy.
So there's a kind of a buildup with time.
Right.
He was dormant.
I think that he knows that. I think Ron DeSantis knows that he's doing this.
And he's actively fighting against
Actively
it.
fighting it. But like with anything that you do without thinking about it,
Yeah.
as soon as you stop thinking about
That's all
not
you're
doing
gonna
it,
do.
you're going to do it. You're going to
White
slip
bear.
up.
Don't think about a white bear. What are you thinking about? You're only thinking about the white bear.
So he's been thinking this whole time, don't chew, Ronnie. Don't chew your teeth, Ronnie. But then as time goes on, he starts thinking like, why is that state seal pencil dry? And then he starts chewing.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and play
All
this.
right. I'm sorry for insulting the seal.
It's okay.
It was more.
I mean, I don't think it's good, but who cares?
I don't know. Sorry.
Capabilities in areas with greatest need, like Taylor County.
So he's getting a little
We are
anxious.
embedded
He's starting to
with,
forget.
each of our impacted
He's
counties.
getting a
He's
little
starting to
chewy.
lose.
Centers and
He's getting a
remain
little
ready
chewy
There's a
now.
lot
to
of
provide
shifting.
support as requested.
Uh-oh, now
As
he's
briefed
starting to
earlier, the
really
Florida National
slip.
Guard is
He's
currently
revving up.
Has 2,400 vehicles from other state and
And so
National Guards.
here's the big
Expecting
one
two
here.
truck companies, one from South Carolina and the other from Tennessee.
It's coming.
One thing to remember, there is still high in a lot of areas of
good
the state. If
God.
you see water,
I don't like that at all.
That one is offensive.
Makes me want to cut out my mouth.
Like now I'm thinking as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, does everyone do this? Does everyone
No.
just kind of chew in their?
I don't think so.
And then I sat there for a minute
Just observed your own
In
mouth
the-
behavior.
in the dark at night in bed
While I'm
next to you with
sleeping,
only the light of my
I'm,
phone
like,
on my face.
snoring with my face
And
mask
I'm just
on.
like, no, that's weird. What
That's
he's
weird.
doing
It's
is
really
weird. We'll go ahead and play more.
overtopping a road, please do not drive through it.
It's so
If you see
shifty.
water, please stop, turn around.
So he almost looks like what he's doing is, it's like he is chewing gum in school but doesn't want teacher to know.
Right. Discreet, like. Yeah, it's
Ronnie, do you have gum? No.
maybe he swallowed a lot of it, and that accounts for what's happened. Just all of it.
Yeah, it's very possible. So let's continue here. This one's not too big of a deal, but he does. I mean, you can see it. This is a habit thing. Oof, gosh.
I don't like that.
So now this one was weird because
His posture.
he's a little slunchies.
He's slunchy with.
He's a slunchy boy. Ronnie DeSantis, you're a slunchy boy, and what are you chewing on? But in this interview, this is another example of when it's hard because it's cutting back and forth between the active speaker. So when she's speaking, the camera's on her, and when he's speaking, the camera's on him. Except for if I noticed something. I noticed something that's very important here. You can barely see off screen coming up. We'll go ahead and play.
I've seen a difference, at
You
the
can kind of
outset
see
of
his
your
jaw
campaign. It was
in
a
the
lot of
right
big
hand side of the
stages.
screen. So I zoomed in here.
Pulsating.
That thing is just bouncing around.
But when
He's
people
chewing on something. He's chewing on something.
Chewing on something.
And by God,
What do you think it is? Do you have a hypothesis of?
I
Do you
don't
think
know.
He's chewing on? Because I don't think he's chewing on anything. I think the answer of what he's chewing on is nothing.
He's chewing his
I
teeth.
think he's chewing his teeth and his tongue.
But what? No
I
one
don't
does
know. It's got to be a nervous tick or something. But he doesn't seem nervous. He like reaffirms when people are like, "Oh, the politicians are reptilian." He's being very reptilian.
We should look at.
It's kind of like Zucks when he's like licking his lips.
Here's proof that Ron DeSantis is a reptile. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I demand to know. What is Ron DeSantis chewing on? Oh, we gotta know what Ron is chewing on. I wanna know what Ron is chewing on. Give it to me.
Can you do the applause sound effect? No. No. Well,
Yeah.
I'm never going to not be looking for that.
So now if you see Ronnie D,
And I feel like we're
Keep
going
an
to
eye
see
out.
him a lot.
I don't think so. No one
think
cares
so.
about him.
He's running.
I know,
He's
but
running for president.
but it's Trump and Biden. That's it. Again.
Again.
Despite the fact that literally no one likes either of them.
Nobody likes them, and they're our only choice.
No one likes either of those people.
But for me, it's like
Even the Trump people are like, we're kind of over
yeah,
it.
we're a little tired. We're all tired. I'm not like pro Biden, but I feel like it's been very peaceful.
It has been peaceful.
I know it's
Here's
not
why
like
it's been
economically peaceful.
right. It's not, but socially
like
it's been peaceful
socially, yeah.
because with the far left, they're like infants. So they're screaming when things aren't going their way,
Yeah.
but then you give them the Cheerios and they just hold on to the Cheerios like
And they turn into Ron DeSantis and they chew their teeth. Yeah.
and that's and so then they're quiet. They're
It's
fine.
great. It's great.
They have their Biden and they don't even care if he's just like, I don't know about you, but I'm going to sleep.
Which was actually a very great moment that made me like him
That's
more.
one of my favorite
'Cause
presidential
I'm
moments.
like, me too.
So
I'm not like, oh, Biden's, I don't have like a disdain for, you know what I mean?
right.
He's like too bleh to hate to me.
It's like hate everything about what put him there.
Right. You can hate the system.
But he doesn't even know where he is.
no, it's just
He's
there.
literally going to bed
and declaring it so.
and declaring it so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
So it's like he's just not a fun target to, I know they hate him. I
They
just feel
hate
like
him.
Obama was like so charismatic. He's so easy to like hate. Because it's just
Right.
like
Because he could be
he's so
evil.
fucking
Obama
cool.
could be evil.
he could be
You know what I
evil,
mean?
but he's so charismatic.
Behind the charisma is like sinister evil. But Joe Biden isn't capable of tying his shoes.
yeah, he's just hanging out. He's just holding down the fort.
He's not even doing that. He's just dying in front of the whole country.
Yeah,
And we're all going, well, half the country is going, I fucking hate him.
yeah.
And the other half of the country is just going, But I go to the gym almost like every day.
You not every day, unless
And
something is very wrong.
At least, I don't know, 3 of those days out of the week, there's a sticker on the door that says, fuck Joe Biden.
I have seen that when I go much less than 5 times a week.
And sometimes
It's
it's
like pretty
gone.
prominent.
Sometimes it's
Yeah,
gone.
I've noticed it's like there, but then it's not.
So that means that this guy who paid money for these stickers.
And it is plural.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they're right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
The gym is removing them, and he's coming back with a new sticker every time he goes.
So he is like a roll. Maybe not.
If you
roll,
see a
but
fly
stack.
in the video, I can't. I don't know why it's here.
And he's
We
just
can't
trying
kill
to
it.
keep his cool.
He fucking hates Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
is
this man has his gym bag that has like his. What do you put in a gym bag? Towels,
towels, shoes,
protein.
deodorant.
Yeah, and then rolls of soggy sticker because they're gonna get soggy because wet things keep going in the bag.
I think every time he parks his car, he opens up his glove box, pulls out the little stack of stickers that he paid money for that
Yeah.
say "fuck Joe Biden," and he takes one. And he puts the rest back in his glove box. He peels off the sticker backing before.
Ooh.
I think he does this before, and he lightly palms it. Then he grabs his gym bag, gets out of his car,
So he's
bumps
holding
it
this,
shut with
like-
his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While he delicately caresses.
Well, he's palming it. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
like when you do a magic trick and you palm it and I can't see what you're holding.
Yeah, it's like this napkin here, just like
Yeah.
kind of just palming it.
Yeah.
And he walks up to the gym door, and as he's opening it, he just lightly
It's like a sleight of hand
Yeah.
push.
every day. And every day he says, "Fuck Joe Biden." And then he goes and he lifts weights and he thinks about Joe Biden the whole time. Now, I went a little crazy with Trump. I did.
Yeah.
But we were trapped at home. We were watching
We had
TV
nothing to do. We were
24/7.
very stressed out. We were all fearing death, and he just kept saying stuff.
We had to hate something.
Yeah.
And it was like, we got to hate Trump.
It's just so easy.
And the other side said we hate Fauci.
yeah.
So that's fine.
It's fine. But this is like,
But Biden's just an old guy.
yeah, you just got stickers. I think what bothers more than any of it, I think, is just how not creative it is. Like, you remember the racist store in North Carolina we went to,
Yeah, we went
Where
to
we
North
had-
Carolina, to Maggie Valley, North Carolina.
which we love.
And great town. And they have these lovely little shops all along the side of the road where you can stop and buy old sticks. But some of them are owned by racists.
But and it was very blatantly racist. But the one thing I can appreciate about this racist store is there was some creativity in the hate.
In the Joe Biden hate,
Yeah,
yeah.
there was nothing that's just like fuck Joe Biden. It's like Joe and the hoe gotta go. I don't need sex. The government's fucking me every day. You know, like
That one's good.
that's witty. But this is just like, fuck Joe, you know, like
Fuck Joe Biden!
just come up with something that's a little catchier.
And also, what happened when the gas prices were real high a bit ago?
Yeah.
Every gas pump in America had a little sticker that said, Joe Biden did this.
This price.
Joe Biden turned up the gas price dial. Like Joe Biden just went to the Oval Office, opened up a drawer in his desk,
Yeah, and
and was
he's
like,
like,
"What's that do?"
oh,
And
gross.
like
Oh.
all the gas, like,
And then he turned it back down. Yeah, once he realized what had happened.
and now he turned it up again. But why aren't they mad about
They're
it?
not mad.
No
'cause
one's
they
mad
peeled off
about
their
it.
stickers. And
They're
they didn't
complaining
reorder
about
them.
it, but they're not mad at Biden about it
Right.
anymore. It doesn't seem. But I just wish I like that whole idea of the age cutoff.
Yes.
I think we got to have that.
I've been thinking this for years.
I don't know if you saw, but Mitt Romney is done.
I did notice that because I have, well, you know, I have a affinity
Yes,
towards my husband.
you are Mitt
I'm Mitt
Romney's wife.
wife. Yeah. Which I don't know how many people can say they've lied to Mitt Romney to his face.
But we have
We
lied to
have.
Mitt Romney.
Not even on purpose. Because I saw Mitt Romney on the agenda. I was going, because he's in the news, so I was like going through our old videos and our photos from when we saw him at the rally.
So Mitt Romney was coming like 2 hours away
Yeah.
from us.
I don't know what direction. I don't know where we went.
We were in Price, Utah.
I don't know where that is.
And we drove to Price just to see Mitt Romney, to see what could this be about.
What is this? And because we were getting married,
Yeah.
and I was trying to make a video of like people congratulating us
Noble
on our
cause.
wedding. So I don't think the first part was a lie. Because what do we say? Like,
You just said we were getting married.
I think I said make a video and make our families really happy or something.
That's true.
Yeah, which is, I don't know if that's true still. I don't know if they've seen it.
Who wouldn't be happy
Who
to have
wouldn't
Mitt
be
Romney
happy?
congratulate them for getting married?
But then he threw us a curveball in which he made me lie. Because first of all, I don't feel like a city person, you know? But when we're in this little town, I'm like, I don't know what we look like.
We
but-
definitely did not look like we were from there.
Right. But I'm like, how do I give off a Mormon wearing a sleeveless dress? First mistake. So we go ask him to do the video. He does not want to do the video.
Yeah, you're like, excuse me, could you, I would love if we're getting married and our families would love if you could record a video congratulating us. And he's like, I don't really.
Politicians can't say no.
But he knows that. So he finally came, and as soon as the camera came on, he went into politician mode.
Was this before the video or after the video?
This was before,
it was
because
then they took the
there was a
camera.
line. There was a line for photos.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is when we'll ask him.
How did we swing both? And then I was like,
And meanwhile, while we're ending the photo time,
smoothly.
you're asking him if he can do the video.
Yeah. And he did begrudgingly. Are you ready to see the video?
Yeah.
Congratulations to DJ and Leah on their marriage. Is it going to be in the Salt Lake Temple or where?
It is, yeah.
In the Salt Lake Temple. Wow. Doesn't get better than that. Way to go, guys.
I didn't want to lie. He's just, he's just talking. He's like,
Getting married in the Salt Lake Temple doesn't get any better than that. Way to go, guys.
Even if I was Mormon, there's a lot. You know what I mean? Even a Mormon would say, well, there's a lot of better places to get married than. It does get better than that. They'd probably rather be married in the Hawaiian temple.
On the top of that Jesus statue in Brazil.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. So he was lying there. I thought he was drooling, but there's a dog hair on my screen. I was like, I've seen this video so many times, I didn't notice he was drooling. He was not drooling.
I thought that Mitt Romney was the best Republican.
Great Republican.
If anything, for his jaw.
He's got
What a presidential jaw.
Yeah, he was made.
That jaw belongs on a fucking coin.
Yeah. Profile view.
Yeah.
He was made for it.
Cutting up your pockets because his jaw's so sharp.
Yeah, your coins are sharp.
And we saw that jaw in real life.
Yeah, we did. He hated us.
But the reason he's retiring from politics, honestly, I think very unexpected.
Yeah.
It's something you never hear in politics. I'm too old.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Can we pull up that video?
Is it this link you gave me?
Yes.
And I'll advance our state's numerous priorities. I look forward to working with you and with folks across our state and nation in that endeavor. It really is a profound
was
honor
heavy.
to serve
That was a heavy
Utah
swallow.
That was a heavy
and the
swallow.
country. My last 25 years in public service of one kind or another, at the end of another term, I'd be in my mid-80s. Frankly, it's time for a new generation of leaders. They're the ones that need to make the decisions that will shape the world they will be living in.
So, yeah, this is...
Now, we face...
Why don't politicians just stop at like 65?
Stop it. And doesn't he say he's going to go do stuff? Like, go relax.
Yeah.
Like, you've been ruining the world, politicians. You got so much money. Go do something. Go lay down.
You have so much money.
Just go stay
you
on
have
an
a legacy.
Island. Go stay on Jeffrey Epstein's island.
People love having a legacy.
Yeah.
So do what Seinfeld did. End it early.
Right. It's always better to
And go
end it
stay on
early.
Epstein's island.
Yeah.
I don't understand the where they get the energy to keep
Like
doing this.
working until they die.
I would do anything in my power,
Yes.
legal or not, to never work again.
I don't care how much power I have. Like, eventually, doesn't the power get old?
Yes, having to do
Like,
something.
oh, I took money from the NRA again. That was great.
The ultimate luxury is doing nothing.
Yeah, that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do.
So why don't they do this?
Yeah, they're just all doing the Supreme Court. Everyone, they're just in there till they die.
And yeah,
It's like,
McConnell could easily just stop and just run away
he could just run away. It's like that first.
and just be on an island somewhere.
Yeah.
Laying under a palm tree, bikini-clad women, giving him
Ooh.
coconuts.
While his wife, like,
Well, he doesn't even look at them. He doesn't know they're there.
yeah, that's true. You know, I used to care about politics a lot more, but you know, I am no friend of Mitch McConnell. I have very ill will toward,
Sure.
I'm not like, oh, I hope he lives, but like, he's such an easy target, right? You know, all these people are like, oh, he froze up.
Pull up that picture of his face.
Of his frozen face?
Yeah, the frozen face.
McConnell frozen face?
Like anyone who mocks that, who makes fun of him,
Is that
what
one
is
of them?
wrong with you?
Yeah, he freezes again.
Yeah, there it is. Like, look at that face. Look at that face.
He's
Look at him.
like,
If you make fun of that, what you're doing is you're making fun of your fucking self
you're sealing your.
in 40 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be all of us. Maybe not doing that exact same
No,
thing,
because we'll be on an island.
but we're all going to deteriorate.
Yeah.
And
It's just an easy target. Like, and I hate him. I'm not gonna be like, if he dies, I'm not gonna be like, what
Damn
a
it.
sorrowful, tragic. But it's just like, fuck, man. Like, I don't know. It's just such an like, look, he's frozen in time and doesn't know where he is. I mean, he should
Yeah.
step down, but it's,
he should step
like all
down.
those clips. It's just like it's beating a. I just feel like that's lazy comedy.
But to make fun of him for having that happen.
yeah, it's like, oh, we're all gonna be shitting our pants.
Like, yeah, we're all going to be, he's actively shitting his pants right there.
Absolutely.
And everyone that you know, including yourself, will be doing that at some point.
because I've got a plan, but
That's all right. Okay, maybe not everyone, but if you live to be old, then that's
will be
going to
there.
happen.
yeah.
So if you're making fun of Mitch for just,
That is exactly what it looks
you're
like.
making fun of yourself.
And I like, I was very upset. Let's talk about Dust.
Oh, dust.
Let's talk about Dust.
So last week we talked about Menugate. And as part of that conversation, we talked about cars being in the parking lot that he filmed that were covered in dust.
And I said, like, dust? Or like construction dust?
Right.
Right.
Now, we clipped that and put that part of the podcast on TikTok. And
I got
let me tell you,
roasted.
you kind of got
I
roasted.
got roasted.
A lot of people were like really mad
Yeah,
at you.
like dust, which is funny anyway. But can I read the two comments that really?
There were a lot of
There
comments
was a lot of dust.
commenting on
comments.
dust, but apparently a few stuck out.
Well, someone who has a shock collar on their dog, by the way, says, Jesus hell. The girl not only offers literally zero information, she makes the story even longer. She's worthless. Then I have one defender who says, wait, why would she provide info on a story she's being told to her that she's never heard before? Which,
Right.
if you told me a story and I was just like, I don't know what's going on.
If you were just rambling about something else, you'd be a terrible person to talk to.
Yeah, that's a bad listener. Like, why would I have hypotheses? And then she just says she keeps chiming in for no reason. She's only interrupting him. I think she likes you. I'm taking away FaceTime from you. She's not providing opinions, clarification, theories, nothing. Or she repeats what he says in a slightly different way. So I was like, I don't want to be worthless. I didn't feel great about it, but I was like, I feel bad. So I'm just going to see what
Yeah.
else is bad about me. Remember we talked about how TikTok is a lot nicer than Instagram?
TikTok is nicer.
Because I had to scroll to the bottom and it was hidden. So they like hide mean comments, or at least some of them.
Thank you,
I
TikTok.
had to go to hidden section where someone said, that girl seems insufferably stupid. That's how my heart felt. And you knew. Because, I'm very sensitive. I didn't want to do a podcast because I'm very sensitive.
Right.
And it's like, you handle all the social media because I can't take it because I don't take criticism well. So I'm unraveling and you're at the gym.
I was at the gym.
And you knew to call me.
I was at the gym looking at the fuck Joe Biden sticker, just staring outside at it.
And then you knew to call me because if I read that, I'm going to be sad.
Yeah. So I called you to...
And you're like yelling.
I was in the middle of the gym just yelling, like, she's probably some worthless, lonely, isolated person with no one to talk to.
Yeah.
So she's on the internet hating everyone because she has a terrible life.
Right.
Which is true.
I talk to ChatGPT a lot, kind of like a therapist. Like,
it's good for
remember
that.
the other day, it told me to take a deep breath because I was freaking out trying to learn how to code. It's like, all right, please take a deep breath. We're going to get through this.
Right.
And that works for me. So you're at the gym and I'm like, I don't think I'm stupid. I think there's other kinds of dust. So I asked ChatGPT, are there other types of dust besides dust? Which I think is really funny. It says, great question. Dust is a general term that can describe various types of particulate matter. So yes, there are different kinds of dust. Here's a quick breakdown. Household dust, cosmic dust, volcanic ash, industrial dust, pollen, sawdust, blah, 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 a bunch of dust. So that helped me feel better.
Thank you, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way I took dust is dust
like dust
is the slow accumulation of particulate matter
dead skin and
over
hair.
time.
Yeah. Like
versus
dust.
an acute direct cause of a dust formation like concrete dust from construction.
That's what I said right after that. I said construction dust. So I offer another form of dust immediately.
She didn't budge.
She didn't care. But that put me but then I've been very sensitive since dust because that really affected me.
Well, just keep in mind, this person is angry with their own life.
Yeah.
They want me. What's her username?
I don't know.
Well, she wants me.
Yeah, she wants a wiener.
And she can't have it.
Yeah.
So.
But I was like, we're all a little Mitch McConnell frozen face about something.
That's true.
When I thought about that before I was like, we all feel that. We're all broken and vulnerable, except you, because you're weirdly stable and have good self-esteem. But most of us have frozen Mitch McConnell face in our insides.
At some point.
Yeah. So
I've had that. When I was a little boy, I was playing
That's
soccer
true.
as a goalie, and the ball pelted my chest and knocked the wind out of me, and I just fell backwards and couldn't breathe for a minute.
And I laughed so hard when you told me that, and I still feel really guilty about that. But you painted it so vividly with your glasses. And I was just like, that's really
Yeah, just
funny.
imagine this fat fucking kid, glasses on, has no business being a goalie.
No, why did they put him there?
I had no sort of agility or
No,
ability
it's just
to
mean.
respond to the outside world in a quick manner.
Yeah.
And so the ball just pelts me in the chest, and I'm just like,
Oh, no.
couldn't breathe, fell back, and that was my Mitch McConnell moment.
Yes, it was. So I'm just going to embrace dust and use that as a growing experience, the thickening of the skin.
Sure.
I would like to turn it into a shirt.
We can do that.
wear.
We're going to have merch,
Yes.
so we might as well at ohyeahbigtime.tv.
/shop.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be in the nav. We'll talk about it more once all that's
We
up.
will not stop talking about it.
Right. So
Yeah.
we'll make a dust shirt.
Yeah.
Cool. So something I've been wanting to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
And the other night I was just kind of scrolling through the internet, and something came up that made me cry laughing, which isn't I usually chuckle or will let out a ha-ha, but I was on the floor, and I'm not sure if it was just because I was delirious and out of it,
Yeah.
or if this is really that funny. But I wanted to see if this is something that could make you laugh.
Now I feel pressure.
As a matter of fact, try not to laugh at this.
Oh.
I dare you
I've always wanted
to
to
watch
be
this
challenged to
and
this.
not laugh.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead, and I sent you the video.
I think I can.
I know, and if anyone's watching this, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'm not going to laugh, watch me, and you're just like, and you don't.
What if I don't laugh?
The goal here isn't. The goal is to see if you laugh. Don't artificially stifle a laugh.
Oh,
unless
I'm saying try not to laugh.
Okay, yeah.
I've always wanted to be challenged.
Fine.
Because it's always like
I
BuzzFeed.
dare you. I dare you to not laugh at. And you know what? That's true. I dare you to not laugh at this.
I can think about dead puppies as long as I want.
All right, go ahead and pull this up.
Okay.
Are you ready? So this is Whitney Houston singing in all 12 keys.
And it's not funny.
This is the challenge.
I'm already smiling. Because what is this going to sound like? Okay. Challenge accepted.
Amen.
Amen.
Are you okay? So you did laugh. So it worked.
Oh my God, I'm like all sweaty and crying. Because I don't know, I saw the name. I thought I saw the name, and I thought I could picture what. I didn't know it turned into like, how would you describe that sound?
The sound of hell.
Sound of hell, roboticized.
Yeah.
Terminator. I've never seen Terminator. I'm crying.
That was Whitney Houston
My
sings
God.
in all 12 keys.
I was really because I thought it would just be like crazy.
Right. When I saw the title of it, and I was like, this will be kind of funny.
Yeah, I just thought it would be fascinating.
But like, you can't do an impression of how insane that
No,
sounds.
because you need machinery. My God, I can't. And no one's gonna like. I really wasn't. I was determined not to laugh.
I'm glad that that was the same reaction I had. Was just dead.
Can we add that to the soundboard?
Yes, we can add that to the soundboard.
Yeah, that and dust and my tears. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things that I've seen.
When you set that up, I was like, I'm gonna feel so stupid if I laugh, or like,
Yeah.
because like it's gonna be so embarrassing if I don't laugh. You know, like what if it's not funny?
What if you didn't? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no question. No one could listen to that and not laugh.
Well, they could. I don't know. I would actually be very interested to like try that and see. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that that you didn't show me that.
I'm so glad you laughed.
I'm sweating.
That's the reaction that
I'm,
I
like,
had.
Sweating and crying. I'm probably gonna pee myself. Oh, okay.
Well, I think now it is time for my favorite part of the episode.
My favorite part too.
Not the listeners'
Nobody else
favorite
gives
part.
a shit.
But it's time to guess what we saw. That's right. Can you guess what we saw? So I have some great news this week.
Great news.
We've had 2 listeners
Ooh.
submit questions guessing what we saw. But I have some bad news.
Yeah.
So, one of the listeners, I'm sad to say, died last night.
Fuck.
So, no, so one of the listeners
funny.
submitted their question at oyabigtime.tv/guess.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them what happened with the other listener?
Well, they did not submit it. Oh, yeah, bigtime.tv/guess.
They submitted through other means.
There's the TV contest rules, official contest rules.
We do have official rules there.
And 6D says entries can only be submitted at https:// bigtime.com TV. What? You know what I'm saying. As
the rules clearly state that you can only submit guesses at bigtime.tv/guess. So that guess is invalid.
And we can't make exceptions.
We can't start breaking rules.
It's the contest's official rules.
If we broke rules, oh God.
What?
If we broke rules, the winner could be someone that it wouldn't have been.
Right.
So
sorry.
We can't do that. Not for you, not for me, not for my Grammy. And not for Ron DeSantis.
How great if he guessed, though.
Can we make that a goal? To get Ron DeSantis to guess what we saw?
Hey, we could go to a rally, probably. I don't know. I wouldn't mind scheming on this. And just, I mean, he's not going to
It'd be really hard to convince him to open his phone and go to our website.
Just ask him to guess what we saw.
Hey, Ron, go to our website and guess. Like, we can't even convince people who listen to this
for $500.
For $500 to guess what we saw. So
hate them.
But yeah,
good thing we enjoy doing this for ourselves.
We did have one listener submit there.
But we do have people listening.
We do. We're getting
we're getting
podcast downloads.
So
we're getting a few YouTube streams. Why aren't people watching it?
I don't know.
Why would people listen and not watch? But anyway,
no one's guessing except our one loyal listener.
So Derek sent in a guess.
And before we get to his guess, we need to make good on our promise of a $25 gift.
That's true. And just to be clear, we are not obligated to pick guesses at random if the guest number is below 5 for that episode.
We have no choice.
Yeah. What are we going to do? Put one question into a random generator and have it pick the one?
We could, I guess. So I would like to buy him a JCPenney gift card.
Because we did promise that the first 5 guesses would get $25 in awards per person, per guesser, not per guesser. Yes. So if Derek guesses again next week,
I don't know. If he's the only one, we'll just keep dishing out these gift cards. But it wouldn't be a JCPenney gift card because that's redundant.
Hack.
Okay, thanks. And we're just doing this on the air to prove that we make good on our...
Should I show your screen?
Sure. I'm adding... What should we personalize our message?
Thank you for guessing. We love you.
We love you.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Would not be the same without you.
Without you.
And
this
your...
is one sentence.
Yes.
Thank you. Where's it going? Oh, we can't show this.
Oops.
Talk about something while I look up his email. I guess we don't, but yeah, we're gonna buy it because we're already doing this.
Yeah, we did say we would buy a $25 prize for the first 5 guessers. So, Derek, we are giving you a JCPenney gift card for $25. And just while you're doing that, in case anyone's wondering, this is the Rode something. And it came with sounds pre-installed on the buttons here.
We love it.
And this is such a great song. It came stock with this song. And so sometimes just to get amped up, we'll come listen to this. Because it's so good.
So it went through, but I put my last name twice.
Oh.
But it went through.
All right.
So
you'll be getting a $25 gift card to JCPenney.
When I was looking at JCPenney's site to just see what you can buy,
they're
like their coupon codes are like hurry now 7.
Because no one's shopping there.
It's just like oh my God.
Hurry! Please use this.
But I wanted to see if he could buy a puffy blanket.
Oh, you can buy a puffy blanket.
Can he?
Do you have? Can I show your
I
screen?
just searched for puffy blanket, and there are 612.
They specialize in puffy blankets at JCPenney.
All right, this is looking sorta.
I like those knit blankets that have holes in them. They're not holes, but they're like.
Did I pass
They're
one?
well, yeah.
Like these?
Those are so. They offer great temperature regulation. I wouldn't quite call that a puffy blanket, though.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, none of these are really puffy blankets.
Scroll down.
Where?
That one right there
This
in the
one?
middle. That's a puffy blanket.
A forged roost throw. And if you buy now 9, it's $26. So he's gonna have to pay a little out of pocket, but
you can get a Lumen Forge Roost throw.
yeah, in any color you want. And
Basically.
It's got 5 stars. Love, love, love. People have created JCPenney.com accounts.
I don't
write-
believe any of these are real.
You don't think so?
No way. No one bought that blanket.
Man, I feel so bamboozled. Really?
Love, love, love. And there's another one down that says love.
They have like demographics. Love, love, love is 50 to 60. She shops frequently.
Right. Fake. No one shops at JCPenney frequently.
I don't know. You would think so. Sorry, I'm not yelling at you.
You can.
Guess what? Because you think no one shops there. I don't mean to talk with my head so much.
Right.
How much do you think their revenue is?
I'll guess 80 million.
Are you ready to blow your goddamn mind?
Yes.
It's revenue from 2022.
$9
billion.
Oh my
$9
God.
billion. People are buying the blanket.
What kind of back market, black market stuff are they doing?
I don't know.
Because no one's going into a JCPenney.
Nobody.
No one has ever been to JCPenney.com except for the people who made it.
Except for us. Yeah, buy now 9. So they're making money. I don't know how. They have 600. They're not all puffy blankets, so they're just like blankets.
Yeah.
But he could get a blanket. And well,
So, Derek, congratulations. You can get your own JCPenney puffy blanket.
oh, there's a price range $5 to $9. Those aren't. What is this? What is this?
That's not a baby blanket. That's a picture of a lion.
That's the Florida state seal.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but his guess. What was
So
his guess?
he sends in a guess, and
It's a yes or no question.
hang on, let's see. No. There we go. I want that one.
Hell yeah.
So his guess, are you ready?
Yes.
Was, is it alive?
Ooh.
Great question, Derek. Is what we saw
Oof.
alive?
I don't know how to answer this.
Well,
Cause was it to be alive?
this is a tricky one.
This is tricky.
It's a tricky first question to answer
It was a smart first question.
because it could be argued one way or the other.
right.
Ultimately, according to a classical definition of being alive, I'm going to have to say, and tell me if you disagree with this, it is sometimes.
It is sometimes.
It is sometimes alive.
So it is made of atom? No, we don't give them past clues because then they don't listen. So
Right,
there's
right.
a guess.
So on the first episode, we gave you your first clue.
Yeah.
Go watch that to find that clue.
Watch the whole episode because we don't know. It's in the middle of the episode.
You'll never know unless you watch the full thing.
Yeah.
On the second episode, we were true in not giving out more clues.
Yes.
On the last episode, we became very frustrated because no one's
That's
guessing.
right.
So we gave out a bonus clue.
It's very informative.
So go find out what that is.
Yeah.
And on this episode, we're answering our first guess. Is it alive? The answer officially is sometimes. So
Thank you.
thank you for guessing.
And if other people guess, they can get I'm not going to double down on the JCPenney. It'll be something else, but you can get a gift card.
You can get a gift card to something.
Yeah.
We'll pick what it is, by God.
Yeah, you're not going to choose what you get.
But yeah, so is it alive? It is sometimes alive. Questions of life.
I'm so happy we got a question.
I'm very
For
happy about
Christ's
it.
sake, we've been doing this for a month.
It is sometimes alive. Who's
What is
alive?
life?
What is life?
What is even a different form of plants are alive?
Plants are alive. Other things, speak of some things are alive that maybe aren't. Did you see? I know we're kind of late to talk about this, but did you see Did you see the aliens?
The little like sand babies.
Yes, the sand babies.
I saw a tweeter about it. But
Google image search Mexican aliens.
Whoa,
That sounds bad.
that's gonna. Oh, okay, that's not the picture I saw. Yeah, to me.
Yeah, click on that one right there.
Which one?
The second one.
This one?
Yeah. Like,
It's just made of sand.
that's not real.
And I want to believe.
I mean, I still very firmly and very much so believe that aliens exist.
Sure.
Life exists outside of this planet. Just by sheer numbers.
1,000%. But
that is not,
that's like a TV alien. We've talked about this
from the
many-
40s.
Yeah. We've talked about this many times because you think that aliens will kind of look what we think they will look like.
I think aliens will largely look roughly like what we think they'll, or roughly like us.
I think they're going to be something outside of our imagination.
No, they're not.
They're going to be, it's
Nope.
not going to look like E.T.
It's
going
to look something like that.
I don't think so.
It'll probably be about the same size as us.
Why?
Because if life...
Why?
It's
I am going to get flustered.
I can tell.
I'm a little tipsy.
It'll maybe be a little taller. It'll maybe be a little
it's
shorter.
15 feet tall.
No.
Why?
Because if life evolved, which, first of all, so let's go by what we know has happened.
What has happened?
We have evolved. Yeah. We exist.
Yeah.
Against all odds, we exist. Right?
Yeah.
Like evolution has led to the most intelligent animal on our planet being us.
On our planet, the planet of Earth.
If life is evolving anywhere, it's going to evolve under very similar circumstances as our life.
Exactly, though.
It does.
Why?
Because this is the only example of life that we know of that is spread in our solar system.
Just because it's the only thing we know doesn't mean it's the only thing that can exist?
Yes, it does.
Why?
Because
I'm just going to keep asking why like a toddler.
Because it literally has to be.
It has to be Earth-like, and it has to have proportions of a human.
So it's gonna need to sense visuals. What is the best way to sense visuals?
There's other ways to visual, though. You can see things through touch.
No, you can't.
Some things can.
They're not seeing it though.
They are.
And it's a if all you can see is what you can touch, you're pretty fucking limited as to what you can see. I can see this.
Psychics can read through touch.
Dr. I forget her name.
But why wouldn't they have, I feel like 2 eyes is very inefficient.
2 eyes is incredibly efficient.
What's more efficient, having 2 on the back from the predators?
No, because then...
Why?
Because the brain has to conserve a certain amount of, or has to use a certain amount of energy.
Superpower brain. I'm sorry.
If you have 2 eyes, this allows you to see in 3 dimensions, right? Yeah. Any more eyes than that? First of all, the visual cortex occupies a tremendous amount of real estate in the brain. The brain uses 20% of the calories you consume, yet it only occupies, I think, 2% of the space in your body. That might be wrong, but it's something around there.
Yeah.
So for the brain to be able to handle more visual information and process it in any meaningful way, it would have to be significantly bigger because you also have to balance the amount of energy consumptions.
Why can't the proportions just be different?
So you're saying it would be a very tiny person with a very large head?
I don't know. I'm not smart enough for this. I am dust. I don't know anything.
I'm just saying, if intelligent life evolves on another planet, it's going to look pretty close to us.
I think that's insane.
It is. It might have a little different
I mean,
skin,
dolphins are basically us, and they look nothing like us.
but they're not flying around in space.
Yeah, but I'm just
They're not making apps,
octopuses.
appetizers, or apps on their phones.
That's true. I don't know.
There's a lot of other smart things on the earth, but
I just feel like you can only see so many colors. It doesn't mean there's not more colors outside of the spectrum.
sure, but we only evolved to see what we need to see.
But they might evolve
We need to find
from their conditions.
We need to determine if a fruit has nutrients. So colors come in handy there.
Maybe they don't need that though. Maybe their nutrients are different.
Sure, like what they see might be slight, like what the electromagnetic spectrum they're able to see might vary slightly from the portion that we're able to see. But by and large, it's going to be pretty similar.
I want to find extraterrestrial life so I can be right about this.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but it's just going to look a lot like us.
I just feel like it's very egocentric of us to just assume that every life has to look like us.
Well, it's not. I mean, okay.
Chimpanzees
So, for example,
look like us, but like we're evolved from them. Primates, they don't look like us. Like they do.
They do.
Don't, but
They
don't.
definitely
But
do.
you're saying they would look like humans. Not so.
I'm saying they would look as similar to humans as apes or chimpanzees, rather, look to us.
Gorillas are bigger than people.
Sure.
I'm getting smarter as time goes on.
Maybe they'll be bigger than us, but not by a huge margin. They won't be small. They won't be this big in a Mexican casket looking like sand.
We can agree on that.
So
That is not a real alien, as much as I would like it to be.
it's not a real alien. And people are like, well, this is a distraction. This is a distraction.
From what?
People always say, anytime there's a news story that's like with the submarine, they were like, this is a distraction.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It was in that nobody cared about like the dying migrants, but it wasn't like
Nobody
formulated.
cares about the dying migrants because the dying migrants are dying every day, all the time. It's very rare. We thought that people were trapped in a submarine on the ocean floor miles below the surface.
Yeah.
In the dark, the scariest, we thought they were alive
They
and
were
trapped.
Eating each other.
That is the scariest thing you could possibly
It
fathom.
is. It actually really haunted me in a very real way.
Like to imagine just being in there for days, knowing that you're going to run out of oxygen and wondering if anyone's going to find you. I'm sorry, that's just more interesting than migrants dying. And people, and not that we shouldn't help the migrants, but which is more novel.
Yeah.
The submarine's more novel.
It's more novel.
It just is. And it's the biggest fear that anyone could imagine.
It wasn't fabricated to be a distraction. It just happened to happen at the same time.
That's true.
I just really, I didn't want them to suffer. Like, part of my brain, if you can remove the humanity of that, I didn't want them to suffer.
Oh, sure.
But
no.
also, like, all these visions, and it's like, oh, it was over the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I
didn't want them to suffer, but I also felt like my entertainment was for naught.
Both can be true.
Yes.
Like, when I heard they die, I was like, oh, that's good. That's actually probably the best way to die. Because,
Oh, they turned to gel.
yeah, like, hell yeah.
In an instant.
Let me do that, please,
Yeah.
before I turn into Mitch McConnell freeze face.
Right.
But yeah, it's just kind of like because we woke up really early, like we got to check,
Every day it was like, have they heard the tapping?
Yeah.
Have they heard tapping?
What are we talking about? Distractions, alien distractions.
Just people thinking that news stories are distractions.
Well, do they think it's a distraction, like on purpose to like?
Distract you from the more important thing?
What's the more important thing right now?
I don't know. People are saying like the Maui wildfires. They're saying that's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Some people are saying the Chinese used a laser to light it on fire. And other people are saying that like rich people and rich companies came in and swooped in and lit the poor areas on fire and spared the rich people's homes. Which is it? It's neither. The aliens
More
aren't a
likely to
distraction.
believe the second, but
I am, yeah. I mean, it is weird that the rich people's homes didn't burn down.
Did they not burn down?
No. It's crazy.
So maybe there is a conspiracy afoot But it's not the Chinese lasers.
It's not the
probably.
Chinese lasers.
Not this time.
But also, the aliens aren't a distraction from anything.
No.
Some guy made these sand aliens,
babies.
and he's like, "I'm gonna see if I can get famous." And so he made this and put it out.
He did get famous.
Yeah. Even if they're fake, like, good job for you.
I think they just look like such shit. Is that pizza? Oh, what's your mom?
Good.
Alien. Oh, is that a joke?
That's great.
I was like, oh my God. I mean, that's great. Fact check. Was the Mexican alien revealed as cake? Hilarious reactions online.
That's fantastic.
That's incredible.
That's really great.
Man, I love the internet.
Sometimes it's great. That's a distraction.
That's a distraction
from the real aliens.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We were last week on the podcast, we talked about impending doom for the planet, an asteroid coming and obliterating the Earth on September 23rd.
Yeah.
I guess it was on the 24th.
But we said the 23rd. That was our first mistake.
So we pulled up NASA's asteroid watch,
Right.
which is called Asteroid Watch. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And we followed an asteroid on their interactive
Asteroid
tool
Watch, yeah.
and watched it crash into the Great Salt Lake. That's on their website. And so I assumed that was an asteroid because it's on Asteroid Watch. Turns out it's not. We clipped this video, put it on TikTok because it's fascinating. And it blew up kind of. I mean, not huge, but it got, I don't know, like 60,000 views, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of got a little popular-ish.
Immediately after posting it, I was like, is this true?
Right.
Like we didn't that didn't come to me before.
No, because we're swept up in the moment.
Yeah, I was like, we posted this and I was like, is this true? And no.
Sort of.
Kind of.
But I blame this on NASA.
It's not our fault.
So it's not an asteroid.
It's an asteroid sample?
It's a little piece of an asteroid.
Yeah.
That was collected by some craft and is coming back to Earth.
It should be on a different tracker. It should be sample tracker.
Sample tracker.
Yeah.
Or have it flagged big across the thing, not a full asteroid.
We're just hosting it on this page because it's the page we built with the graphic and animate. But
and no one's going to asteroid sample tracker.
But we just put it on there and people are like, holy shit.
Yeah, people are like, should I not go into work?
Right. It's like, what? Don't trust us. What are you doing?
You do not trust what we're saying.
Never trust us. But it's just so why, they just trusted us? And it's and it was pure, it makes me wonder if QAnon is because it's they're sinister, the media, and they're not great. But it's also are they sinister or are they just lazy? Because that was fun. We're just this is a fun idea.
Yeah, this is fun to talk
we'll
about.
Just post
what
it.
if?
What if there's an asteroid coming? And then we just posted it. And then we're right after, I was oh, it probably not coming.
Yeah,
But,
that's probably not an asteroid.
If we thought it was, we would have actually been freaking out. So I assumed something was amiss.
Absolutely.
But also,
I can see maybe how QAnon started.
Yeah, and I can see why it's fun. But we don't participate.
In QAnon?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, the thing is that starting a conspiracy theory is actually really easy to do.
It's really formulaic.
There's a formula. You have to take something that someone knows already and another thing that someone knows already and bring them together in a fantastical way.
Yes.
So we could start our own conspiracy theory.
I would love to.
And if we clip it and post it onto TikTok, then someone's going to believe it.
Because those are our only videos that do extremely well. We have like so many videos, and the 3 videos are all conspiracy related.
There's a formula. Yeah, exactly. The 3 videos that have done really
like
well.
120,000 views cumulatively.
Right.
But,
Just
like,
on conspiracies.
Our funny videos get like 400.
Lame.
So let's just keep making conspiracy videos.
We're gonna make a conspiracy theory right now.
Yes.
So
Do you have one?
the formula for this for TikTok clips is you start off with sort of an ambiguous statement that forces curiosity, so they'll want to find out the answer.
Right.
So things like have you heard? Did you know? Yeah. Apparently, blah blah blah. It makes you go, So that formula tends to work. So we'll be like I'm trying to think of a conspiracy here. Okay, it'll be like I'm gonna snap into TikTok video mode now.
Me too. Does that mean I have good posture?
You have good posture.
Okay. I am
Okay.
actively listening.
Yeah, look real interested in what I'm saying. Okay, so it'll be like what's something that's like a question? I'll be like, so have you heard this conspiracy theory that no one is talking about?
What is it?
Wait, hang on, I feel like that was a little fake.
What
Let's
is
try
it?
it again.
What is it?
I love that question because if no one's talking about it, how would you have heard the conspiracy? So
Maybe you just go into it though.
no, I think you need the hook.
Okay.
So it's like, so have you heard this conspiracy theory that no one's talking about?
Probably not if no one's talking about it.
Well, don't say that.
What am I supposed to say?
Just say no.
No?
Yeah.
But why would it? No.
It's for, this is all to be funny.
No. Okay.
Just be like, no. Like you're shocked that that there could be a conspiracy theory. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay. So let's try it. So, have you heard this conspiracy theory that no one's talking about?
No.
Well, did you know who Jocko was 10 years ago?
Like a Marine?
Yeah. So there's this theory that Jocko is actually Macho Man Randy Savage.
The Macho Man Randy Savage and Jocko are the same person?
So about
That's
10
what you're telling me?
Yeah, so about 10 years ago, before Macho Man passed away, he started getting obsessed with the military. He even hired like Navy SEALs to train him as a SEAL at his home in Florida.
Really?
So years go by, and he was locked into this deal with Slim Jim, right?
Yeah.
But he was so tired of being associated with that brand and the Slim Jim guy and Macho Man. He just wanted to be taken seriously.
Understandable.
So he faked his own death. He had plastic surgery, went to a vocal coach who is the person who leaked this, the vocal coach, to adjust his voice because he had a really iconic voice,
Very
Macho Man.
recognizable voice. He went to a voice coach.
Yeah. And then he resurfaces as Jocko.
No shit.
And this is just like 5 years ago, no one's heard of Jocko.
He came out of nowhere.
And now he's everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's because of Macho Man finally completed his transformation. If you listen to their voices, you can kind of hear it still.
Do you have a sample?
Yeah, we'll play it here. And we'll cut in TikTok, we'll just play some comparison.
I would love to hear it. Do you have it?
You could pull it up if you wanted.
Is there actually one?
No, but you could pull up clips of both of them.
We don't have to. We can just stay in it.
No, we can. Let's hear. This is Jocko. Play the good video. Well, I guess you can pull up Macho Man.
One of my
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, pull up one from when he was younger.
Like this one?
Yeah.
WrestleMania 3 at the Silver.
Jesus Christ, that's so loud.
direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I look at him.
So you
and
hear
say,
that rasp in his voice?
He's got a rasp.
Now let's listen to Macho Man.
In Pontiac, Michigan. It's a day that I'm certain my guest at this time will not forget.
The top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top.
Now go back to Jacko.
And good. He said that's what you always say. When something is wrong.
So imagine like he's been to a vocal coach.
Yeah.
And obviously Macho Man's a character. Jocko is a bit more serious and kind of calm.
Sure.
But these are the same person.
I mean, the rasp.
You can hear it. And obviously none of this is true. Why would you even believe this for a second?
on.
Jocko is not Macho Man.
They're separate entities.
Macho Man is so much older than Jocko.
Yeah, he's really...
We got you.
And that's how you start a conspiracy.
And that's how you start a conspiracy theory on TikTok.
Yes.
So.
While we're talking about conspiracy theories, I found something that sounds like a conspiracy theory that isn't. It's real.
Well, something can be a conspiracy and real.
But it's not even a conspiracy. Like it doesn't sound real. Stick with me.
Okay.
Did you know there's a Canadian maple syrup cartel?
There's a Canadian maple syrup. No.
Yes. This is not a this is very well known. Well, not for us, but
for the Canadians
up there, they know. I went down the rabbit hole. I don't even know how I got on this, but I've been basically treating this like a journalism. I've been reading about this for the last couple of days, and I have taken some notes to teach you about the maple syrup cartel.
Yeah, every time I asked you what you were doing, you're like, "Don't look at this."
I know. I wanted to tell you all.
So that's what this has been.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you the details, but then you would know.
All right. So there's a Canadian maple syrup cartel.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna need to know. We're gonna have to go down the maple syrup knowledge train.
All right. I'm all aboard.
Are you on the board?
Yeah.
All right. So cake. So Canada. First, I thought it was Quebec. Quebec.
Is it just Quebec?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I've heard both.
Well, I'm going to say Quebec.
Say it.
Quebec makes 72% of the world's maple syrup. So like Canada's 75% and they're like 90%.
Can I just say real quick
What?
how good maple syrup is?
I know. That's why I was excited to talk about this.
I've been on a maple syrup. I put maple syrup in my coffee. I put it in oatmeal.
You've been taking the spoon.
I take shots of maple syrup in the
Yeah.
morning. Only one, but I really enjoy it.
It's a tablespoon.
I like maple syrup.
It's good as hell.
Yeah.
Do you know if it's pure maple? It looks like it's pure maple syrup.
Pure. I believe it's Canadian maple syrup.
Well, my God, how relevant.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so they make 72% of the world's maple syrup, right? Maple syrup, you don't think about what goes into it because you think they just drain the tree.
Right.
It's much more complicated.
You just put a pipe in a tree and you have
And you
10
suck
bottles.
it out and go, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very volatile industry. It's very tumultuous because it's hard to predict how much output you'll have every year.
How?
Because there's a lot of factors that go into it.
But if you know how many maple syrup trees you have,
I know.
and you know how much water has been put to them.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
When I went down the rabbit hole. There's weather. So they need cold nights but warm days. They need to have not too much or too little rain. Good soil conditions. The tree health matters. You need older trees, but they can have pests or disease. And it has to be like a certain time of season. So you have to find peak sap production time. And then like the person has to be skilled. So there's a lot that goes in.
The person is to be skilled.
There's a whole technique. And
I'm a skilled maple syrupist.
There are. There's skill involved, and there's these people that have been they've been doing this for generations and generations. Like this is their life. They do the maple tree farms. Right?
Right.
So, but it makes
like I'm a 10th generation mapleman.
Yeah. But because it's hard to have like a stable income from it, because some years it's like you have a shit ton of maple syrup and then other times you don't. So the government of Quebec there's like this private organization called the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers, FPAC.
Oh, okay. That is very similar to OPEC.
Yeah. It's not a government agency, but it has a legal mandate to regulate and manage maple syrup in Quebec. So like during the 80s, they did this because there was a shortage and the industry was unraveling. People started cutting down their maple trees because it was like more profitable to sell the tree than the sap. And it's like, this is mayhem for the maple.
We can't have our maple trees be cut down for timber.
Right. So they're like freaking out. So they have this FPAC. And like yours, it started with good intentions, right? Because it's a volatile market. So it's like, we'll stabilize it. And then we can have steady income by like controlling the market, right?
Right.
So if there's high production years, then there's not an influx of syrup and making the prices go down. We can control the flow. We can set the prices, whatever we want. Makes sense. It doesn't sound sinister, right?
Sounds nice.
It sounds nice. But yeah, the people in these articles, they're like, Quebec is the Saudi Arabia of maple syrup.
My God.
Federation is OPEC. They're like, the system in Quebec is like a prostitution market. The producers...
So wait, this cartel is like sponsored by the government, basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cartel's a heavy word, but I'm sticking with it. I think they're a cartel. They meet all the conditions.
So they are like killing people, like killing maple farmers who don't like cooperate with them.
No. But they are bad.
But then they're not a cartel.
They are a cartel. They're a non-violent
They're not
cartel.
they're not like hanging the wives of a syrupman,
Not
of a
to my
10th generation
knowledge.
syrupman,
No.
like in the streets.
They're still very mobbish.
That's what a cartel
I know,
is.
but there's no in between.
They could be a mob. They could be a maple syrup mob.
Mafia. We'll call them the
I think mafia is getting into. They're also violent.
Mob? Mob doesn't sound strong. They're like, oh, the mobs are Black Lives Matters. Mobs used so lightly. I'm sticking with cartel.
It's not a cartel.
It's a cartel through every other part of it other than the violent part.
Like, cartel is violent.
But maybe that's just been co-opted.
Like,
you can't be like, oh, this private organization that's very corrupt and mean, and it's a cartel. It's a cartel.
but like, none of the Mexican cartels that people are afraid of are just like mean.
Yeah, but maybe,
like, you're not afraid of them because they're going to be like,
spectrum.
put all your syrup in our barrels.
Maybe there's a spectrum of cartels. They're on grade level low 1. Just
All right.
okay. They're not a cartel, but what? I'm just gonna fine FPAC. FPAC, not the cartel.
You can call them a cartel.
Thank you.
I'll go with it.
Thank you.
Okay, so the Canadian syrup cartels.
Yeah. The system is like a prostitution market. The producers work very hard, and the federation is paid very nice salaries, just like a pimp. So picture them as a pimp. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to know how this works? Let me tell you. So there's 13,000 maple producers in Quebec. They're required by law to join FPAC, so they have no choice, right? They have to give their entire harvest to FPAC, so FPAC owns their sap. But the farmers pay for everything to produce their syrup. So they own the land. They have these thousands of trees. They have the machinery. They're working full time to bottle their syrup and all of this production, and then they just have to give it to the Federation.
How do they get compensated?
They get like paid out. So the Federation takes all of it and then they sell it and market it, and then they get like a residual. I don't know if that's the right word. I think it's a residual. So they get paid out. They have nothing to do with the sales. They just farm it.
They farm it, give it away.
Yeah.
And then they get paid by FPAC.
Yes.
Okay.
Which in concept, still not like horrible, but they have these quotas.
So nobody in Canada, no maple syrup farmerman can put a pipe in a tree, make a bottle of syrup, and sell it.
Not in Quebec. By law.
That's insane. Okay.
By law, they have to join the Federation. So if they make more than the quota, they can sell some of it at a farmer's market or at their sugar shack. But Federation determines how much they can sell. So they have the mandated quota, then a portion of that they can sell direct to consumer, but they don't because like they have to have distribution, marketing. They're just farmers. They don't have like packaging and stuff.
Right.
And they're not going to sell it as good of a price as the Federation can. So they make their quota, then any of the excess of the quota goes straight to the reserve. Okay? There's a global strategic reserve of maple syrup in Quebec.
In case there's an apocalypse and everyone needs their I'll be honest, after tasting that buttery, sweet, good flavor, it's rich, it's earthy, it's buttery, it's sweet.
It's like a warm embrace.
It is grandmother in my mouth.
Yes.
And I love it so much.
So you support the reserve.
I support,
just in case.
I support the idea of there being some sort of a reserve.
Yeah, me too. So they can sell some of it, but this quota, or the excess of the quota, is shipped off to the reserve. Okay. So you could have your quota's 5,000 gallons this year, and it's a good year. Maybe you make 7,000. You don't make any money off that extra 2,000 gallons.
You make no money off the reserve.
You lose money on it. So that 2,000 gallons.
But you still have to. So what happens if they don't harvest it?
Who?
Like the farmer.
They have to.
But what if they don't?
Fines.
So, but how does FPAC know if their maple syrup trees were capable of producing more than they captured?
They have this like all locked down. Like they have a whole system of knowing who's producing what and how much. And like it gets crazy. Okay. So so you send off your 2,000 extra gallons to the reserve, which you make no money on until it's sold. And it's only sold if there's a low production year and they have to pull from the reserve, right?
So they're never making money on that.
They can, but it takes years. And they have to pay a tax to have it there. So they have to pay $58 per barrel to keep it at the reserve. And they have to pay like 12 cents
per year or once?
Per $54 each barrel as a tax that goes to the reserve. And they have to pay 12 cents for every gallon sold. So they're paying all this money to the Federation. On top of that, there's like all these fines for like, they can incur fines for all sorts of stuff. But they're getting in trouble all the time if they're like selling outside of their jurisdiction, or what they deem is like if you sold too much direct to consumer, you get fined. So there's these farmers, they're small little farmers that have like hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in fines.
Oh my God.
Yes. So this has created a black...
And FPAC knows how much they've made.
They do.
Because they're the only people legally able to pay them.
Yes. They harvest their...
But they can fine them more than they've paid them.
Yes.
That is insane.
It's so crazy. So this has created a black market for syrup in Canada. Because these people work hard to make this extra syrup and they can't make any money on it. So they're trying to find other distributors to sell it. So they like have the excess, anything over the quota, and give it to barrel rollers who then resell to exporters. Right? There's like this whole war of like... there's a lot of intense animosity. There's like 3 regional presidents of the Federation, like they had their sugar shacks burned to the ground by the rebels.
The maple syrup rebels?
The maple syrup rebels. Well, they couldn't prove it, but like it was them, you know, because they're like, who else would target the Federation presidents, right? So there's this whole thing, but like the Federation people are such assholes, and they're like, because, you know, the people are like, we're entrepreneurs. We want to like sell our product how we want. And like we tried the free market in the 80s and it didn't work. So we control. It's like, that was in the 80s, dude. Like you couldn't have a free market for maple syrup now. Like you couldn't have like an online shop.
Yeah, you didn't have websites in the 80s.
Yeah, like you didn't know what you were doing in the 80s, but that's like what they lure over. Like you wouldn't be able to make a living off maple syrup if it wasn't for us.
Like talk to the guys in Vermont.
Yeah.
There's Vermont maple syrup.
Yes, there is. And they're doing fine.
They're doing fine.
They're doing great. So there's a bunch of stories about these rebels and people that are like against the Federation.
What is a maple syrup rebel? Are they like trekking through the woods in all black and hauling barrels away?
Kind of.
Sheathing them in bush material so it looks
like, because they have to sell it to like black to the black market for people to like, they take it outside the region because everyone outside of Quebec can sell freely. It's just in Quebec, but the maple trees are in Quebec. So they're like,
so FPAC shows up, issues a fine to the farmer.
Yes.
What happens if the farmer is dealing with black market stuff? What does FPAC do?
That's what the fine's usually for.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of stories of all these people, but one is Steve Cote, I think is how you say. I don't know how to say French names. Steve Cote, they found he sold maple syrup outside their regime.
They acknowledge it's a regime.
It's a regime. So they seized his entire crop in 2013 and 14. Then in 15, he's like, okay, you can take all my stuff. Like, you can have all my syrup, you know, because he accrued $656,000 in fines. And he's just like a guy, you know. So he agrees to give up all his syrup. They don't give him a cent in return. So he's like, in 4 years, I haven't put any money towards my sugar shack. And he has to pay income tax on it. So they take all of it. He has to pay income tax on it. And then they're like, he doesn't have the money to pay for these fines. So like, we'll help you by giving you a loan. So then they loan money. So then
we're going to loan some money to you so you can pay us.
Our fines. And then he's paying interest on that for 19 years. So it's like crazy. And they're super strict. So they have all these like,
we're the good guys.
Yeah.
We're going to loan you the money at 10%. And then you're going to pay us their money plus the 10%. We're the good guys.
That's exactly because the free market couldn't survive without us. Right. So they have they're allowed to break and enter into sugar shacks. So they can totally lawfully just come and seize your syrup. They can come onto your property. They can inspect it without any warrant. They can just show up. They can set up cameras to monitor what you're doing. And then
on your property.
Yes.
What a great place, Canada.
And then for him, and he's not the only one, 24-hour, 7 days a week security guards on his farm.
That aren't his.
And so they're there 24/7, and he has to pay for them. So they put the guards there, and then you're like, this is on your tab, which I think is $40,000 more to have them there. And they're not just watching the syrup, they're watching him. People that come there,
why does he just burn down this farm and leave?
I don't know, because they're very passionate about maple syrup. I don't know why he doesn't, because you're in the hole, who can, by that point, what are you doing? Don't give a...
Right.
Because he's like, yeah, I agree. But he doesn't. He keeps working, and they have these guards there, and they're taking down names.
Would he be able to, in theory, mow down all the maple trees and grow rice? I don't know.
I would have to assume so.
It's his property, right?
But they I don't know. Yeah, it's his property, but they're always taking them to court and stuff. So I don't know how it works. It's gone to the Supreme Court. It's crazy. They have but picture it just you're on this farm with your maple trees. There's security guards there 24/7.
That you have to pay for that aren't yours.
Yeah. And then anytime people visit, they write down their names and their license plates. So they're keeping tabs who's coming to your house. And they'll just show up whenever they want. And they'll be prove where all of your syrup is, right? So then I was watching, they were interviewing him on Vice, just about all this. And this unmarked truck comes. And it's one of the enforcers. And then he's confronting him. He's like, you told us you weren't tapping this year, tapping your maple trees. He's like, I wasn't planning on it, but then demand, people want our syrup. So, my wife has a meager income, so we're tapping this year, He's like, well, you didn't tell us that. And he's all kind of crazy. And then the Vice guy is like, if he's tapping his trees, is that against the law? And he's like, well, it depends on his cooperation. If he decides to show us his books and where he's storing all his maple syrup, then maybe he'll be okay for 2017. So it's just what the fuck is going on, right? So this all leads to the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist.
The Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist.
Of 2012.
By Mark Twain. I remember that book.
I would read that book.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, what do you picture the maple syrup reserve to look like? This is a maple reserve for the world.
Well, the way you're talking about, I picture it one of two ways, right? There's the cartoon way, which is deep underground. There's an elevator that you go under. and there are just these massive, like, steampunk tanks filled with maple syrup.
Yeah.
That's one way, and it could be that way in my head.
In your brain.
The other way, which is a little bit more realistic, is that you just have giant outdoor vats that are like massive swimming pools with a lid on it, and that's maple syrup.
That's how I pictured. It's this.
None of my ways are right.
It's basically this. It's just these. I wish I could show you this.
Oh, this is so underwhelming.
I know. So it's just these.
This is the maple syrup reserves
for the world.
And they're in these goddamn
600-pound barrels of syrup, right? So they're all like stacked like this, right?
They've had to have fallen over at one point.
I think it's very risky how they're stacking them.
It's very precarious how they've chosen to do
it's
this.
Like 600 pounds. So there's 3 of them, but there's one that's like the biggest. That's the biggest one. And that place is like 267,000 square feet, so 5 football fields. It can hold 55 million pounds of maple syrup.
And it's not underground.
No.
Okay.
This is why it's so great. So all 3 of them can hold 133 million pounds of maple syrup. And maple syrup, those barrels are so valuable. They're about $1,800 a barrel.
Okay.
Which is 30 times more than crude oil. So it's like those are really expensive barrels, like gold mine.
Get your hand on a truckload of those bad boys.
Yes.
And you got a good time.
Like in a heist. Yeah, they do with all of their places. It's like 53 Olympic-sized swimming pools of maple syrup. So if it's at full capacity, it's $400 million worth of syrup.
Jesus. Okay.
Yes. So
and that's just one of them.
That's for all 3.
Okay.
But this one's like the main one. That's like way bigger than the other ones. The one where the heist takes place. So they do an audit once a year because it's a big to do an audit, right?
Right.
At this factory. Once a year they do an audit. I don't know what they're doing. They're just checking everything. And the auditor is going around and he climbs the barrels.
He climbs the barrels?
The barrels. And which is insane, but he climbs the barrels, and he's.
Why don't they just have a forklift that he gets on?
I don't
and
know, because they do have forklifts, so I don't know. But he's climbing the barrels, and it gives way. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Of course, it gives way.
Well, no.
Oh no, like it's
600
empty.
pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a stable. I mean, it's Jenga. But
All right.
It's 600 pounds, so it gives way, and he's like, "What the fuck?" So he hits it, and it sounds like a gong. He's like, "This motherfucker's empty," you know. So then they go and like.
How often is the auditing happening?
Once a year.
So once a year, a man goes in, scales all the barrels, and knocks on them to see if they're empty.
I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
But yeah, he knocked on it because he's like, why did I almost fall? It's empty. They do 2 weeks of auditing, like 2 weeks of like auditing,
scaling the barrels,
like seeing what has stuff and what does, because that one's empty. And they notice some of them have like rust or like marks on them because they have special forklifts that don't leave marks. So like any marks, because you saw how pristine those were.
It was pristine.
Yeah. So it's like if there's any marks, that's like super suspect. And so they're like, after they do this 2-week audit, they're like, find that they've lost almost 10,000 barrels of syrup, which these are all 600 pounds. So it's 540,000 gallons of syrup is missing, which is about $13.4 million worth. So it's like, what the fuck?
That is a great Canadian maple syrup heist.
It is. And it's like, how do you get those out? Because like, that's huge.
It's got to be somebody was emptying them one by one into their boots and walked out.
Just squishing around.
yeah, and just went home and was just
It's the only way. This is like the biggest criminal investigation they've done. It was like a huge deal, right? It's like $13 million of saying it's, they're very defensive of their syrup.
Of course.
So it's like this whole thing. They have 250 investigators, 300 people questioned, 40 search warrants, 26 arrests. And they're like, there's no security cameras at this place. So they have like
what are you talking about?
Millions of dollars in this warehouse in 2012. So it's not like 2012, no security cameras.
2012 is now.
2012 is now. So that's like, they don't have a lot to go off of, but because they had the scuffs on the barrels that are like, someone had a forklift, so they like go around and look at like rental places for forklifts, and then they like have some suspect names.
Were the scuffs intentional markings to mark in this heist, like, we're taking this one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Very accidental. But yeah, so they discover, they're just like, who could do this? Like, this has to be an inside job. Someone would have to have reason to be there, have a key card, and all this stuff. So it's like this big mystery. It's so obvious who did it now that we know. So there's this guy named Avik Qanon. Avik? I didn't look up how to say their names. He owns the warehouse. so he owns this warehouse. The Federation comes to him like, can we rent space for our...
This isn't even owned by the Federation?
No, so they're renting this space.
The maple syrup reserves for the world.
Yes.
Are so important to stabilize maple syrup prices.
They don't even own the warehouse.
They've rented a warehouse.
They've rented a warehouse.
Okay.
So he's like, yes. Obvious, because he knows. Everyone knows it's a hot commodity. So he's like, yes. Immediately starts looking for black market buyers. So it's like the guy, it's the warehouse owner that has,
Yeah.
It's like so obvious. So and they're like, talk about him. He's like this criminal mastermind. And they're like, he's like, what do they call the guy with the strings? I don't know. He's ringleader.
A marionette man.
A marionette man. And they're like, he's a criminal and they should have known who they're doing business with. He did fraud insurance and he had involvement in fake stealing a car.
I fake stole your car. Aha!
Yeah. So they're like, that's their thing. Is like, oh, he's like super scary. He's done insurance fraud and fake stole a car. So he like goes and he finds a guy named Richard. I don't know how to say his name. Vieras, maybe. And he's like a well-known black market guy. So like he's a barrel roller, right? So what they would do is they would take.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of a guy just. A maple syrup farmer goes out at night with a shovel, just puts it in the ground, leans against the barn, looks over, and there's a man in all black with sunglasses on. And he just says, "Need any barrels rolled?" And the farmer's like, "Please, sir, you have to get off this property. They're gonna find you." "No one can find me coming in or out." "Now I'll ask you again. Do you need any barrels rolled?" And that's all. I don't know.
He's
I just
smoking
imagine.
a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly Richard whatever his name is. So I have to show you this pit stop they go to because it's very funny to me.
Do you have it pulled up?
Yes. So there's like this gas station that they go to.
Oh my God.
And there's just like a bunch of dinosaur statues everywhere.
They just took these all from Orlando.
Yeah, it's like just this pit stop. Like, well, this isn't French, but it's just like this pit stop with like a bunch of dinosaur sculptures.
That warehouse owner is driving down to Orlando, driving to all the gas, because everything in Orlando is like this.
Yeah. What is it called? Yeah, they heisted the dinosaurs and brought them back up to Canada.
Yeah.
They're at this pit stop and they meet and they formulated a plan where they would take like the maple syrup barrels, which are very specific. They're all painted white like you saw, and they all have like a seal on them with like a Federation, whatever. So then they got their own barrels and they painted them white, put a seal on it so it wouldn't be suspicious.
Oh.
But they're just like barrels. They're not like approved for food. So that was also a big problem with all of this. Like the people that were working on it like got really sick because they would like test it and it's like in this like tainted barrel. So it's like
it's just like in a rusty barrel.
Yeah, it's like a public health crisis. But so they siphon it like you would with like a semi. So they siphon it into their own barrels. Then they take the original barrels, fill it with water, and then put it back.
So they basically stole like $13 million of money.
Yes.
And then burned it.
Why?
Because they've made it no good.
Well, they still sold it.
Okay.
It's just that people got sick and it wasn't a nice thing to do, and it really hurt the producers because that influx in the market. But yeah, they kind of did burn the money, but then like Valier, we'll just call him Richard. But this Richard guy's like, yeah, I wanted to make a lot of money, and he developed a taste for luxury goods. But he also had a vendetta against the Federation because they seized his house and fined him $1 million. So he's like, he doesn't care. He's going to get back at them. You know what I mean? But they have like their text, like during the case, they had their text threads. Can I just read these texts very quickly?
Yeah.
They had burner phones. We have a problem. It's urgent. Are you there? A guy from the Federation saw the truck. Calm down, please. I am calm. The Fed is on their way to do annual inventory. Make a lot of dust. We are going to play with
Dust.
Dust.
Make a lot of dust.
Yeah, make a lot of dust, actually. We're going to play with the lights. They will be low. The alarm went off in the warehouse. Is everything okay? They're investigating the heist. Did you see the news? Throw the phones out. So that was their criminal.
That's the most Canadian
I know.
criminal text exchange.
Calm down, please. I am calm. Like
in the U.S., that would be like, if you don't fucking calm down, you're done.
I'm going to slit your tires or your face.
If you don't calm down, your daughter's dead.
Yeah. This is just like, hey, calm down. Hey,
It's going to be okay, buddy.
Yeah. I guess that's most. They didn't even have evidence, but Richard like pled guilty, and he like had all this remorse about it. He like talked about he went to prison and he like saw a guy.
So they're like, who did this? He's like, I'm sorry.
Basically,
I feel bad.
The guy who like the guy that owns the warehouse got 5 years and like $1 million fine, but then Richard got 8 years and like $9 million fine, and the court was like, you have that, but if you can't pay back your $9 million fine by the time your prison sentence is over, you add 6 years. So he's in prison and he needs to come up with like $9 million or else he has to stay there for another 6 years.
Oh, so he's screwed.
Yeah, so he's in prison for 8 to 14 years for a maple syrup heist.
That is insane. I would have never going through the supermarket, looking at the maple syrup and just being like, this is so good. I can't wait to take a spoonful of that.
Right.
Yeah, I would never guess in a million years
There's all
that that's
this
going on behind the
darkness.
scenes.
But New York State has 3 times more maple trees than all of Quebec.
So what are they?
So we're coming for them.
Are we?
Kind of.
We should be.
I mean, I want them to. They have higher standards in Canada for that. We have like additives and shit. But if it means breaking up this cartel, I think we should come after them.
Yeah, that's insane. I would never have thought. So I'm buying Vermont maple syrup from now on.
Yeah, you can't trust those Quebecians.
Nope. Well, wow. That I'm a little shook.
That was my research paper on the maple syrup industry.
I was excited to wrap. I was excited to wrap this up to go finish watching Telemarketers.
Yes.
But then I realized we already finished it. If you haven't seen Telemarketers on HBO, I don't even know how to explain this.
I don't either.
If you haven't seen Telemarketers on HBO, you've probably never heard of the greatest man who ever lived, but you're about to find out.
Yes.
So there's this man among us.
A god.
When I see this man, my face lights
I'm
up.
smiling just thinking about him.
We watched Telemarketers on HBO, and I'm not calling it Max. We know it's you, HBO.
We know.
We didn't fucking forget.
Xfinity.
So we won't give spoilers because if you haven't seen Telemarketers, you gotta watch Telemarketers. But in this show is a man, they'll show him, his name is Pat J. Pespas. And again, if you haven't seen it, you won't quite understand why we love him so much. But this man is the most lovable, hilarious, amazing, and giving person on the planet. And after seeing his face, particularly in this one shot, I had to make some fan art. And I thought, what better place to put this fan art than in the official Oh Yeah Big Time Studios?
Yes.
So here's my message to you, Pat J. Pespas. You're an American hero. You're a legend. And you will be missed. I don't, he's, at some point.
Yes. Not yet.
This is the fan art that I made of you. And God, may you be blessed.
Absolutely.
So what I'd like to do is this is one of those mixed
Sticky,
tiles.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to
Should get
peel.
sponsored by them so we can just have them everywhere.
Yeah, let's get sponsored by Mixed Tiles.
Yeah.
And I'll just get this same thing printed 1,000 times.
That'd be great.
So we've got.
Do you want me to do this?
I would like for you to hang this picture
I'm
up.
so crooked.
Don't be crooked.
Well, I don't want to be.
I'm going to hand this to you, and you're just going to put it right next to the Waffle House picture there.
Like here?
Yeah, a little lower, just a smidge. Yeah, right there. And yeah, that's perfect.
Can I push?
Push down. Give it a little light tap in the center.
Oh no. Oh, I think it's.
There she is.
I did pretty good.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
So Pat J. Pespas will be hanging out with us
love you
from now on.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't give spoilers other than you gotta watch it and you will be happy every time you see this picture behind me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So never forget Pat J. Pespas, and never forget the joy that he's brought to the world.
Yes.
Well, all right. I think that wraps it up for us.
Follow us on social media.
So yeah, be sure to follow us on social media. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. And also, guess what we saw?
Yeah. God.
Oh yeah, bigtime.tv/guess. Please guess.
Please.
Why the fuck would you not guess?
Oh, we've proven we pay out.
And give us a call. It's 802-870-6928. 802-870-6928. 802-870-6928. Did you think anything we talked about was weird? Got any comments?
Do you hate us?
Got any
Can you
questions?
tell us why you're not saying what you think we saw? Oh, we didn't even say how many we saw. I saw 0.
I don't know. I lost track.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter because they're not guessing.
They're not guessing, so who cares?
We don't care. We're not keeping track until
Yeah,
the
and
people care.
If you can start submitting your guesses, we'll be more involved here. But this is a two-way street,
Yeah, this is
motherfucker.
our assholes.
So, yeah, give us a call. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks.